Hey, what is up, and welcome back to the Big Z, to the Sabbat city that everyone seems to be cluster-fucking in. But we're going to leave the massive cluster of fucks and focus in on our dear little KK at this point. Dear little KK has been through a lot in the last couple of nights, and, there's just something niggling in her mind, perhaps, something that looks for stability. I mean, she's been blooded, unblooded, she's been walking paralyzed. She's been ugly and fair, and I think is having a bit of an identity crisis amongst other things. This is something that even in her most bestial mind is looking for stability. And that perhaps comes in a revisit to old stomping grounds. KK, give me your thoughts on where you're at.
Mm, well, after she's been working on some of the projects over in the north area, the warehouse that her owner apparently now told her to go to, well, she wasn't going back, and Kaylee's impatience finally got the better of her, and she just started wondering. She actually just stepped into public transport and just kind of not thinking, drove around, took a few subways. Then she emerged from one of the subway tunnels from the station. She looks around and she just looks right across the streets to see her old elementary school. I was kind of surprised that she wasn't really planning to go this way, but um, at that point she does remember the police message and her father being there. Whatever that bastard thought he was doing, idiot. Not like he ever fucking cared.
Your eyes are drawn upwards towards the red brick building of the elementary school. You're in an area that's becoming less and less glamorous. Towards the second and definitely the first floor of the elementary school, the windows have bars on them. They're not pretty at all. They're painted black, so you can't really notice them that much at night, but during the day they'd be glaringly obvious and make the inside of that school look like a prison, just like you remember it, actually. Regardless of that, you still have little colourful cutouts of children's hands and pictures in the windows that you can see just in the streetlights. The entire scene is one of familiarity in a way, and it's funny because you still get that little feeling at the back of your head, that little I should be going home, it's nighttime, as soon as you look at that school. Taking it back to you.
And well, she stares at the school for a moment, just almost she actually crosses the street and walks up to it and touches the some of the cutouts, or if they're behind the glass, just touching the glass on it, just looking at it. She used to give them names and let them play stories. Didn't always end well for them, but hey, mm, she wonders what it's at this point. Sorry, go ahead.
No. Go. It's your story, my dear.
She
I'll kick you in the feels soon enough, don't you worry.
yeah, I know. And Kaylee at that point wonders, like, it's it's been a while since she's been here, but she remembers the last day that her sister went to school here. Isn't that long ago, actually? Not before she. It was just a few weeks later that Kaylee decided to move out, to find her own life. Wondering, that little girl was about 4 years younger as Kaylee is now, and she's kind of wondering maybe she should take a peek. Hurt that much. So her dad would probably be fast asleep anyway, so who cares about him? It's just a brother, but hey, it's nighttime. What can happen? She's a K-Knight. They own the night.
And with that thought in the forefront of her mind of what's the worst that can happen, KK gets on the subway, or are you walking the rest of the way?
It's probably walking distance anyway. I would
Mm-hmm.
imagine so. Yeah, she's just going to take the walk.
Mm-hmm. KK takes a walk down the streets of Greenwood, South Greenwood, past the reasonably ill-kept elementary school. You walk past the oval at the back, the school football field, as it were, the exercise area, whatever you call it over there, to find the grass is overgrown. Certainly there's a few patches where people obviously sit in around there. There's the usual trace of the school smokers, a few butts of cigarettes lying around, a few prints in the grass where bottoms usually sit of a lunch hour. You smile at yourself, you were one of those kids once. From there on in, you maneuver yourself down, you wander past the fence once more, and into the suburbia area itself. The suburbia area, which once looked like a really nice housing estate. It looked like it was thrown up in a matter of months, and once upon a time was nice. You have little houses on the hillside, all in the pinks and blues and reds, like the song does go. And once upon a time it was cheerful for you. Growing up, you don't know these things. It was all sidewalk chalk and little scooters on the pavement. But coming back, you can see that it was all really a farce. That seeing with the eyes of a child and seeing with the eyes of an adult are very, very different things. And definitely seeing with the eyes of a Canaanite is another matter altogether. Where once you'd wander past windows thinking that people would be watching their telly from inside, you can smell blood, maybe. You can smell alcohol. You can see that the little estate has gone from cheerful, and the little houses made of tickety-tack are just really shells housing many, many unfortunate people. Here you have quite a lot of the working population that would service the docks that is far more north and to the east of the city, with those docks now dry and very little shipping coming in. The population here has become quite a lot more jobless. So you're getting a feel of tension. It's palpable in the air. You're walking into an area where people are peeping out of the windows and seeing what's on you. What are you carrying? What car are you driving? Because they might just want to take that from you because they're desperate. That's the feeling that you're getting. And regardless of being one of the lords of the night, one of the noble clan La Sombra, you just tuck your coat about you a bit more. Because regardless of your canine prowess, pack of hyenas can still take down a lion. And that's the feeling that you're getting. It's heavy on your shoulders. Kicking it to you.
Kelly first, she enters the area. She's almost surprised that she would still see this as home. It's more like a dream long gone. Not a very pleasant one at that. It just was an illusion after all. Well, it's done. It won't come back, and well, this definitely never. This place will never shine again. Not the way it shone back then in the days. Doesn't matter. It's just humans after all. But as the tension starts rising, Kaylee starts to look around a little bit more careful to see if there's actually people. She is wondering about her face, if anyone would recognize. Sure, it's been changed quite substantially at the moment, at the point where you wouldn't actually recognize the very beautiful overlay. Yes, I am. But you'll never know. They might just recognize her. After all, it's not that long ago since she roamed the streets here, also during the night, but very differently, very different outlook on the world. And she just makes sure that if anyone looks at her, if it's busy out in the street, if she sees anyone behind the windows, that she stares at the ground, not directly at them. The jacket that she borrowed from Murdoch, kind of tucked high.
Borrowed a coat from Murdoch.
I got a coat
The
from Murdoch,
collar's
actually.
the collar's like here on you.
Yeah, yeah.
And it
I
almost
know.
shows
That's
on the
the great
camera.
thing
Tiny
about it.
little thing. So
Just when
realistically, all you look like is another 17-year-old flasher that's just looking to wave his schlong around from the windows. So people don't pay you very much notice because it's a common sight around here. People just there's all manner of crazies out of a night, and you're just one of the multitude, and they know to avoid their own. Without much ado, let us fast track. Let's go once to the left, twice to the right, into the maze of houses, the unkept lawns, people with their lawn chairs on the front of the lawn, the occasional esky and beer can lying down, and the beer cans and the mess on the front lawn increases in intensity until you've got houses where you've got, even decrepit cars that have got the grass underneath them growing up almost to the windows, and they just get mowed around if it gets mowed. And you find your old house. You remember that once upon a time you called it the apricot house because of its green roof and its sand-colored front, and it was cute to you once, but now that's all bathed in that amber streetlight and made almost incognito in colors. There's just no brightness to it anymore. The curtains, you remember, it used to be festive, even. The curtains from the time of your mother. They've the white lace across the front and then again the floral print to the side. She always loved being a homemaker and it never really altered. However, now they're patchworked in a way that as the curtain falls, the front of the folds are bleached and the innards remain colourful only. So they've been there a long, long time. What other thing has been there a long, long time are the Christmas decorations, which are still on the lawn. Now, it is the season to be jolly after all, and some people still have their Christmas decorations up. However, these are weather-worn. These are sun-bleached. These have been there probably for years. The fairy lights strung across the front aren't on. You don't even know whether they work anymore. Probably not, but just nobody's bothered to take them down. And you stare at this ruin of once your family home from the front of the path leading to the main door.
Hmm. Kelly stares at it for a moment, just maybe a few minutes, simply looking. Are there any lights on?
Nope.
Anybody's still awake?
You don't see a light from here, but do me a perception investigation roll. You might notice something.
Oh crap, I do need to roll for my nightmares as well. What is built?
Yes. Do that one first.
Nope, -1 difficulty on all -1 die on all.
Pity that.
Oh yeah. So then that would be, damn it. Perception, investigation. -1.
Mm-hmm.
But I have 3 successes. I know that.
3 successes. Okay. Seeing 3 successes, you know that the layout of the house, you remember it quite vividly. And you know that the way that the front room goes off onto a little side area, which is once upon a time was your mother's sewing room, but then turned into a storage area. It's the room that has the most amount of sunlight in the house, the biggest windows and whatnot. Behind it, however, you've got where the telly always was. And as you sort of walk around to the side of the house, you can see just a flicker, 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 flicker through the window as if the telly was on and playing something. You can't hear anything, but you can certainly see that there's a light there.
Okay, she kind of shakes her head. He'll probably be here dead. It's not like he never fucking fell asleep in that chair in front of the telly. Like ever.
Mm-hmm.
Bastard. Well, she lost 1 dead this month. Why not lose another?
Take me into your mind, KK. Take me into your mind. Why are you so angry? What is it that you're feeling right now? Why are you here?
Katie kind of walks around the house towards where she can see the flickering of the light of the television more clearly, and going to sneak up and look into a window. And as she does so, she just remembers the fun times when she was still a very little kid, like running around playing hide and seek. Her mom's still alive. sometimes her mother was watching from a distance. She never really joined in. That's what Kaylee does remember. But she had so much fun with her brother, playing out and about. And then her mom died, and everything just changed. The feeling changed. It became more grown up. It was no fun anymore. There was still fun, but there was always this feeling over it. That feeling of be careful, be responsible, grow up. Don't be a kid, because you're not a kid anymore. As soon as you lose your mom, you're no longer a kid. You're an adult. And if you lose your mom, if you lose her at 1, if you lose her at 4, if you lose her at 7, which were exactly the ages of uh, little Veronica, elder brother Donnie, and Kaylee herself, being the middle child. And it's that moment when you stop being a kid. Kaylee
Mm-hmm.
stopped being a kid at 4. And, that bastard, he never really took care of them. He was always at work. Sure, of course. Haley understood he had to work. He had to earn money, and when he came home, he was tired. But then he lost his fucking job, but he still wasn't there. He still wasn't there for them. All he was there for then was the booze. That guy is never a father. So many people have been more a father to her than he was. First her brother, then actually Jacob Burns. Now that that Canaanite is gone, her sire is gone, but her dad, that bastard that actually has the same genetic code as she has, he's still around. It's not right. It's not good. It should be the other way around. Why wasn't it the other way around? Why wasn't it actually the other way around earlier? Why didn't her dad die? Why was it her mom? Those are the thoughts that kind of crossed through her head. The ideas that have been crossing through her head ever since she was a kid. Ever since, as she started growing up, as she started rebelling against her father, who was suddenly at her age of 15, who was suddenly home all day, started to have an opinion, started to influence himself into her life, placing himself into her life, thinking he had the right to tell her what to do and what not to do. Why wasn't he gone? Why wasn't he gone then?
Why wasn't he gone indeed? Why wasn't he gone? Why didn't he just fucking die? Why didn't you just fucking kill him then? All these things clashing together with the memories of the beatings he'd give you, the electrical cords that sometimes stung your back for no reason other than when you were washing up you made a tiny bit too much noise. No. And perhaps there's a little something that crosses your mind also. Veronica, your little sister. When you left, was she in for the same ministrations that you were in for? You don't remember him ever hitting Donnie. Not the way that he hit you. Sure, he'd punch him in the face once or twice, but he'd never go apeshit. Maybe he was just a coward, couldn't beat another man, had to take it out on a girl. What happened to Veronica?
Well, that's definitely something that's been crossing Kaylee's mind, like the last 2 years, and she wasn't at home anymore. It's one thing she always worried about. Well, no, not entirely true. Not the one thing. There were more things that she worried about. Whether she would ever meet Donnie again, or what she would do, and if she would run into her dad, and what they would do. But
Mm-hmm.
the idea of her little sister just taking the brunt of these beatings, something that she's always placed out of her mind. Like, don't think about it. You've taken enough. It's done. It's over. You can't go back anymore. She's big. She's bigger than Kaylee was. But what did happen to her? She can't get it out of her mind.
And you'll never know unless you actually go and peep into a window, because for all that you know, for the couple of years that you've been gone, they may have moved. You might just have a little old lady living here. And so I leave that door open to you. Where does KK go?
Where Kaylee would go is first, well, if she's standing already next to a window, she would probably peek into it. She was on her way to the back of the house, to where the light is flashing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she is spending that one blood point to
Mm-hmm.
activate her shadow play, just to give her that little extra ability to be unseen. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the thing she would first do is peek through this window, and then she would go to where she would know that Veronica's bedroom was.
Okay. We'll do it in that order then. The window that you're peeking through has got the horizontal blinds, very much like what I've got here, but they're buckled and bent out of shape. They're used to be probably a nice timber, like these ones are here, but the window having been opened inside, you can smell cigarette smoke, and that's just permeated into there. Some of them are cracked, some of the varnish is just lifted off, and there's even varnish on the windowsill, and you can see that nothing has been cleaned in a long, long time. The cigarette smoke is almost pungent as you approach the window. You look in, and certainly there is a shape on the couch watching TV, but it's not the shape that you're expecting. It's not the large, bulbous, almost grotesque form of your father, KK. It is, in fact, a very thin, very haggard, very unkempt, long, greasy-haired Donny. He looks like he has almost starved himself to death. There's big bags under his eyes. You can see the muscle tone of his shoulders simply because there's just no fat there to fill it out. The singlet that he's wearing has got sweat stains on the front and on the side, and he's got both of his hands on the corner of the edges of the chair that your father used to sit in, and is just slumped down into it. You can see his knees bony peeking through the shorts that he's wearing, and he's just watching TV. Make me a perception investigation as well, please.
Okay, first of all, I'll tell you what this one die is for. That was a one die humanity roll to see what I would do. Perception, alertness, you said?
No, give me investigation because I want you to notice a bit more stuff around the room, but you might not, seeing as you're fixated on poor
Nope.
old Donny. Nope, you're fixated on poor old Donny. You're pretty much just looking at this thing that you used to look up to, this older brother that was like a father to you once, now just looking like a Holocaust victim, shell-shocked, and just staring into this TV, watching the news. You don't even know whether he's seeing anything until his eyes blink, and he'll just sort of stretch his neck a tiny bit, and then just start scratching at one of his arms, which is not tattooed or anything like that. He's just still bare-skinned. But yeah, here we leave that. Do you move on to your sister's room?
Well, that one die that I rolled was a
Yeah.
humanity check to see how much I would care.
Okay.
And
How much do you care? I missed it.
I rolled a 7.
Proceed.
Yeah, Katie's just looking at her older brother, and she doesn't really understand why she should care. I mean, they had been through a lot of shit. Maybe that's just it. They had been through a lot of shit, and he was always there for her. Sure, not in the end. But the end times were bad for all of them. I still her older brother, and she knocks on the window.
Nice dream.
Oh,
Does he
fuck.
notice?
Wait, shit. Nah, never mind. Just realized something.
Oh yeah, look at that. For all that he's peeking, he actually notices you. But I've got 2 successes there, but how are we going to do this? You've got shadow play on.
That, and I just realized, and fucking hell, I should have realized that like 5 seconds earlier, that my face has changed.
Can I get you? I'm going to get you to roll me your stealth at half dice pool, because the shadow play sort of negates you tapping on the window. So if you get more successes even at half dice pool, he's just not going to notice you unless you drop the shadow play, and I'll give you those if you want. Yeah, he notices something tapping at the window, but then just goes back to watching telly.
Which is probably a good thing, Katie at that point realizes before she tries to tap another time, because she doesn't look like herself anymore. She completely forgot that. Shit. Huh. Never knew that changing her face would actually give her that problem. But hey, here you go. Oh well, let's first check out if she would see if she would notice Veronica. If she would see her.
You go to the edge of the house, the back right-hand corner, which is the room completely adjacent to what your room used to be. And for a moment, you even look into your old room, and it's just a storage shed. It looks like all of your furniture and all of your stuff has been moved to one side because nobody can bother moving it out or selling it. And then there's just stuff in there. It almost looks like a hoarder's house nowadays. And you sort of, yeah, pretty much that expression. It's like, yeah, typical fucking dickhead. But then you move around to Veronica's room, and you'll find that Veronica's room is just fucking creepy. It's a perfectly made up girl's bedroom. It's actually so fucking girly. You remember she hated pink. Why the fuck is there pink everywhere? You don't change that much. There's rows upon rows of teddy bears, and it's not pristine clean. It looks like somebody does wipe the shelves, so it doesn't pick things up and wipe underneath them, but just gives the place a wipe, whether it's with fingers or whatever. But somebody does keep this place to a standard. In a way, from what you're seeing, from the entire perimeter of the property and the old dog kennel where the roof has fallen in, and good old Sparkles has probably not been alive for many years, and just the decrepitness and the paint peeling and the windows not kept. This room seems to be a pristine shrine somehow.
Hmm. Interesting. Katie doesn't really quite know what to make of that. There's several thoughts just running into her head. Like, did her sister become a prostitute? Or,
Perception empathy for me.
okay,
No, perception investigate for me.
fine as well. Oh,
Yeah. That's 2. Yep. You recognize some of your old toys in there. It's not anything that you had when you were just leaving, like your abacus, your books, your things that you'd have, your mechanic gear and whatnot. That old World War II pilot helmet that you found at a garage sale one time. It's nothing like that, but it's all the stuff that went into the attic when you turned 6 or something, around that sort of an age where you learned to put away your dolls. And you were never into dolls anyway, but they were bought for you because you're a girl, so you get dolls by default. But all of that stuff that went up to the attic is now down in her room. And in amongst her stuff is quite a lot of your stuff. Quite a lot. Which is odd because how old is she now?
yeah, she's 13. Should be.
Hmm.
Maybe 14 almost. Hmm. Interesting.
So you wonder why there's a Tickle Me Elmo there and a couple of your old teddy bears.
Yep. So, do I see her?
Nope. The bed is made perfectly though.
Okay. Um. mm, do I
As you
remember
look
a back
closer,
door? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
sorry, no, as you look closer, because you are looking a tiny bit closer, you'll notice that the room almost looks posed. When I say it looks like a shrine, I'm not fucking kidding. It looks like somebody has seen a picture book of a girl's room and arranged it just so. There's a diary to one side, the pen's at an angle, there's an eraser next to it, there's a little tiny scented something or other, there's dangles hanging down. It's like a magazine. It's not perfectly done like a magazine, and the colours are muted, but somebody's gone to a bit of effort. You do remember a back door, and you remember that the lock has never really worked. All you really have to do is push down the bottom right-hand corner with your foot and then turn and lift the door a tiny bit to lift it out of its lock. The
Very well.
security screens the fly screen's a different matter, but maybe that's gone too, and you can just reach around.
It's like the many times that Katie snuck in and out of this place. She would probably remember a way in or out. Well, oh, but how good would she still be? She's planning to sneak into the house. This is weird, and this is like, sure, it's okay. I mean, it's not like she cares, and she doesn't care if her 13-year-old sister would play with fucking dolls, but it's weird, and if they did something to her, no, she wouldn't be care. She wouldn't care. But then again, there's also Donnie, and that's just not how he was. He used to be very responsible. What the fuck is going on here?
Oh, the remnants of your humanity, how they tear at you.
Oh yeah, things need to have closure. Yeah. Curiosity, maybe.
Maybe. So you get to the back door, and I'm just going to roll a fate dice, and if it's evens, we roll again. So on a plus, you get through. And we will roll again. Yeah, you get through. The door hasn't been fixed. You're not surprised, actually. The door never fucking gets fixed. Sparkles used to be around old... What was he? He was a Pitbull Terrier Staffy Cross, one of the ones that got rescued from the fighting dogs, but then your father just neglected him again and wanted to make money off him until you pretty much told him otherwise. That beating wasn't nice that night, but he stopped trying to take your dog away from you. Never know what happened to good old Sparkles. But yes, you push your foot just on the ledge of the doorway, you remember it, turn the knob, pull down, and you hear that familiar click as the lock just sort of weans itself out and clicks down. The little deadbolt just clicks out. More like you're lifting the door off and to one side than actually unlocking it, but it can be done because the hinges are so loose. The fly screen that is on the inside is just that, pretty much just a fly screen door, and one of the edges pretty much just has a gap there, so you can just crawl on through and get into the house. But do make
Yay.
me a dex stealth roll. And don't worry, you can only botch it.
Nail
No,
it.
you're good. Nailed it. You get through the door quite stealthily, and now you find yourself in the linoleum-clad hallway, the sides of which inside are green, almost stucco green, and you can see the outlines of the pictures that used to hang there. It looks like the nails have rusted out and given away long ago. There's one or two pictures still there in the hallway that your mother put there, but the rest have either fallen to the ground and been swept away or taken down. You don't know. But here you find yourself in the hallway. Give me your next moves, KK.
Yeah, that's why I rolled a d4. I needed something with odds and evens. Odds would have been going to Donnie. Evens would have been going to that weird room.
So where do you go?
Yeah, I rolled a 1.
So you're going after Donnie.
Apparently my dice really like Donnie.
You tiptoe your way to the front of the house, pretty much where the TV area is, where you saw Donnie. You remember what part of the floor squeaks. It's almost like you never really left, and you can tiptoe around it quite easily until you get to the door, which is open. And here, what do? Donnie's sort of sitting back inside to you.
Mm, do I see anything like that would imply that he is either on drugs or alcohol or something like that?
Roll me that perception. And what's your pull for awareness?
Awareness.
Use either awareness or investigation, whichever's your highest dice pool.
That's exactly the same. And I still don't see it.
Okay. Skinny ass mofo Donnie sitting there watching TV like a dickhead.
Mm-hmm.
The smell of cigarettes is pretty strong. You can't miss that. There's beer cans on the floor, an old trash can that's overfilled. Other than that, you don't notice anything.
Okay, she's gonna walk in, and that's Daddy's seat.
You can see your hand just sort of flinch at the voice, but then just turns around and faces you. Who are you? And he's starting to get up. One hand's reaching for a baseball bat to the other side.
Gee, you never worked with it sports, so just cut the crap, seriously.
The fuck you doing in my house, bitch?
Oh, come on, hon. Seriously, years haven't been that long. I look a little bit different. It's me. Come on. You know?
He'll squint. He'll squint in a way that you've seen drunk people squint when they're trying to focus, and the hand just the bat with the hand with the bat sort of just goes down a tiny bit where it was challenging before, and you can see a very concerned look come over his face and just go, Kaylee, get
Wanna
the
know me?
fuck out of here, man.
Why? What's
Get the
going on?
fuck out of here. He'll
What's
drop the bat and actually just hug you. And as he hugs you, it becomes quite obvious the smell on his breath is tooth decay. And he'll just give you a big tight hug, and you can feel every single rib on his body. It's just, get out of here, man. Get out of here.
Jesus, fuck, I'm not
Don't let him
gonna leave
fucking
without you.
get you.
What the fuck is going on? Come on.
Oh, yeah. The bat's fallen out of his hand and just goes clunk, 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 and drops. And then there's a familiar voice from just down the stairs. Donnie! The fuck are you doing? And Donnie just hugs you tighter, but all the while whispers, get out, just fucking get out.
I'm not leaving without you if this is... Seriously. If I can leave, so can you. Come on. What's going on? What's with Veronica's room? What the fuck?
He actually just grabs you by the shoulders and just starts leading you towards the front door, and not very strongly. You can resist quite easily, but he's
Okay.
just trying to shove you out the door. hmm Heavy footfalls, futunk, 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 coming up the stairs from the basement.
Hmm. Okay, whatever the fuck is going on, I don't know, but you look like you've been in a... I don't care. But you're not... I'm not gonna go without you. You're gonna fucking come with me. Seriously.
Can't leave her, man. Can't leave her, man. I
Oh,
can't
fuck.
leave her. I can't leave her.
Can't leave who? What's going on?
Voice from behind you again. Honey, where the fuck are you?
Okay, okay. Go, I'll follow.
He's not getting out that door. He'll actually just spin you around and have you look into his eyes. It's like, man, after you left, shit went down. He's not himself, man. He's fucking violent, more violent than ever. You fucking run. You don't come back.
Did I ever... Well, I ran once. I'm not gonna run twice. Seriously, I came here to finish this, to find some sort of end to this, and for fuck's sake, if this is the way to end it, I'm gonna fucking end it.
You say from the hallway, which is just past the kitchen, and you can see the dining table overloaded with plates and baked beans and spaghetti and canned food. That's pretty much all they've been eating. There's roaches crawling into it. Donnie's still trying to push you out. He's got very little strength. He's got like strength 1, if that, because you're
I know.
beginning to see all the trademark signs of a very heavy heroin addiction.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna give him something else to be addicted to.
Ooh,
Yes, I'm
okay.
gonna call the motherfucker.
Are you doing that right now? Because those footfalls are coming up a lot closer.
No, for now I'm just gonna give him the command like, okay, sleep. See if that works.
Okay. Okay,
Good.
roll that for me. I'm going to increase your difficulty because he is under the influence and sleeping is the last thing on his mind. He wants to get you out.
I know, and
He's
I
still being
am
super
already
protective of
on a
you.
die less, so I have one less dice, so yeah. Well, I got a 10 there.
Yep, no, that'll do. He'll just sort of, his eyes roll back in his head a tiny bit more, and in a sense, you can almost sense the drug still working its way up his arm, and the receptors in his brain just turn on again from when he gets that initial hit, that initial high, and pretty much you just put him back into a blissed out drug state. It's not so much asleep, but the chemicals in his brain just reactivate and remember that sense from 45 minutes ago, and he'll just sort of bliss out in your arms and just fall. And he weighs nothing. You don't even need potency. He's just a bag of bones.
Okay.
But he does just grab your hair and just ruffle it a tiny bit. And as he blisses out, goes, "I like what you've done with your hair."
Idiot. Well, can I I place him out, like in the backyard, before
You're not
those
really,
footsteps are coming
no,
closer, or
no,
front door,
no,
or
not
whatever?
really. No,
Okay,
those footsteps are pretty much right on top of you.
very
And
well.
as you look up, the shadow is cast on top of you, and you do see that grotesque, horrible form of your almost sow-like father. There's that belly still sagging out underneath his white top that can't contain it, the short shorts, and he's barefoot. And 5 o'clock shadow doesn't even cut it. He's just starting to be grisly. Nails look like they haven't been cut in a while. He just looks like he's completely let himself go and is completely feral. And again, he'll reach for Donnie straight away. And I'm going to make just a roll for him right now. And if you want to hang on to Donnie, it's going to be a
Oh,
opposed strength roll.
I was actually gonna say that she's gonna actually put a dot in strength, blood point in strength, and gonna slap his hand
hmm
away if she can.
hmm For that, I want you to make me a make me yeah, make me a brawl move
Dex brawl, I take
because
it.
you're trying to dex brawl because you're trying to cut him off just as that big meaty hand comes down towards Donnie.
Oof, nope, that's a botch.
Okay. All right. Pretty much what happens then is that that big meaty hand that you know so very well, that struck you so many times, just reaches out and grabs Donnie, just grabs him by just the shoulder, even doesn't even grab him by the clothes, and just rips him out of your hand and just flings him into the kitchen. Pretty much, there's a clatter, and just yells as he's throwing it. Meant to keep these motherfuckers out, fucking druggies! I tell you not to bring him in here. And he'll go over and give Donnie a kick in the ribs, quick swift kick in the ribs.
Okay, that was a self-control roll. I made it.
hmm And he doesn't do any damage, but it'll leave a bruise.
Mm.
And then he'll turn on you. The fuck are you, bitch? You're one of his fucking junkie whores. Told you not to fucking come here again. Apparently he's Australian.
Great, I have Australian parents. Something. Just shut up.
The fuck are you, bitch? Get the fuck out. And he'll grab you and he'll just go to grab you by the hair and try to drag you. So I'm going to give him a dice pool of 4 for Dex Brawl because he's not very dexterous, but he can throw a punch. 1. Okay.
Okay. Do I resist with strength or with something else?
You can either dodge or you can go. I'll let you go straight in for an attack and try and dodge under him. Yeah, probably the best to do is to do a dodge
I
at this
would
point.
fucking attack that guy.
All
Straight
right.
ahead.
Okay. Well,
And I would put
then you're gonna have to
now put a dot of blood in dex as well, because for fuck's sake, my strength is high enough. It's dex.
do me a dodge first, which is the Dex Ath, in order to not get your head grabbed by him. In which case, if he does succeed, you can still attack from there, but you're short and he's fucking huge. So you're gonna have to think of something.
Okay. Would cat-like balance be in effect here?
Yep, definitely. You're very light on your feet.
Uh, I dodge.
You dodge out of the way. You know that move. You know how often he's grabbed you by your hair and then dragged you somewhere to pop you over a table and give you a good lashing. You know the way that he moves, and you dodge right the way out of that way. And that leaves pretty much you just over to one side of him with his side exposed. So if you want to go for an attack, you can
Oh
quite
yeah.
easily.
Mm, yeah. Let's just go for a brawl attack.
hmm
So that's dex brawl. Oh wow.
What have you done? Oh, look at that. 4 of bashing. That'll
No,
wind
that
the
was to
motherfucker.
hit. That wasn't the
Oh,
damage.
that was sorry, my bad. I'm getting ahead of myself. All right, you've pumped into
Oh
deck, so
no.
you're going to be using. So you're two points down by my count. Actually, 3 because you use shadow play.
Hmm.
Alrighty, so pardon me. The So are you going to be activating any potents, my dear, or are you
I'm not
just
gonna
going to
spend
naturally
blood
beat
for
the
it,
shit out
but
of
I'm
him?
gonna roll it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So potence plus strength plus the extra successes would be right?
Yes.
Okay, that would be 8 dice. I could have kept the original roll, save us a lot of talking, actually.
It's all good. 4. 4 damage to a fat man's side. I'm resisting the urge to say when you punch him, it's like punching a waterbed. But I'm going to say
I
it.
can imagine it.
You go for a punch just down, and it's not like you're just going for a straight punch like a boxer's punch. You actually dodge down, crouch low, and then bring your entire body up into an uppercut using your legs and momentum of your entire body to just put more strength behind it. This dude physically lifts off the floor, his toes just grazing up, and then he just falls down like a piece of shit. I'm just going to see if he... Okay, he doesn't... Come on, Feathers! Okay, he doesn't pass out, though. He pretty much just lifts up, falls the way down, and the back of his head actually goes against one of the sort of... Oh, what's it called now? Against one of the walls, which is just this sort of a faux plaster wall, and it actually goes through there. You can make a hole in the wall with his head. Congratulations. How long have you wanted to do that? But he pretty much is just lying there like a rhinoceros beetle on his back, and is just stunned for a moment. So here you stand, brother, curled up in a tight little Holocaust-esque ball over on that side, clutching his ribs. Fat-ass father, abusive prick that you have hated since the moment you knew what hate was. Well, since your mother died, pretty much. And that's when the fall from innocence really began for you, wasn't it? This is the catalyst. And you're seeing that now. This is the catalyst that has brought you here. This is probably the reason why you even found out about Canine Society. This is why you never really had a life that wasn't a scar. What do you do?
Katie is just gonna...
You have the object of your hate
Oh,
and the
yes.
object of your love.
Katie is just gonna put her foot on the neck of her father, just ever so tightly squeeze. She doesn't push through. She's just bending forward. She's like, "What the fuck do you think you're doing, idiot? Leave my brother alone."
The sole of your foot just starts crushing his esophagus. Not even because it's quite easy to do once you actually have
I know.
leverage, and he's just flopping. His arms are just flopping. He's not even reaching for you yet, and you can see the flabbiness of his arms, the muscle tone underneath, what used to be decent muscle tone, and he'll start to just grab at your foot and just start gurgling, and you can pretty much tell he's just swearing at you through that gurgling.
Katie's just bending forward just a tiny little bit. Like, you didn't recognize me, huh? Did you? Well, what the fuck did you do with them? What the fuck did you do with my brother? What the fuck did you do with my sister?
You're bending forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're quite short, and he has quite a long reach.
Mm.
He grabs your hair. Just straight up grabs you, and then tries to pull you off, and that would be opposed strength.
Okay.
I'm going to give him a strength of 3. And 1 success.
Yeah, well, that's more than I got.
He throws you off. Your scalp just starts paining, and the roots of your hair bleed a little bit as a trickle comes down. He's actually completely yanked you off, and is starting to get up, and it will take a turn to get up because he's a fat fucking piece of lard. But you are thrown free.
Yeah, well, whatever. She, yeah, lie still, you big fat prick.
Oh, he's starting. He's not lying still. He's getting up.
That was Dominic.
Yeah, that fucking... Oh, was it? Ah! I'm not watching dice pool. Okay.
I don't know what his willpower is, but it's at least 2 successes.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm going to give you
wait,
2.
-1. Sorry, no, make it 1 because the last die wouldn't fit. Because I have a -1 dice pool.
And...
Sorry. That one, the 6 falls off, and so it would just be the 2 successes.
Okay. What was your direct order again, please?
Mesmerize, and the order was lie still.
Okay. He lies still. He just sort of flops back down. But he's not going to shut up.
No, that's fine. I fucking asked you a question.
Question was, what have you done with them? Okay. How would he respond? First of all, does he recognize you? I have no idea what dice pool to give him, so I'm just going to give a fate dice. Come on, fate dice. Fuck you. He doesn't recognize you. Okay, still doesn't recognize you. Don't see what fucking business is of yours, you fucking whore.
Well, it is my business. And I want an answer. And you give me that answer. And you answer truthfully. That's again
What the fuck
the
you doing
last
to me? You break
sentence.
my fucking spine.
Last sentence was
Last sentence.
sorry.
Last sentence was.
Was dominate.
Last sentence. Yeah. Okay.
So
Last sentence
answer
was.
truthfully.
So I'm sorry. Through the cursing and the Australian accent, I didn't hear the actual question.
The actual question was, what the fuck did you do with my brother and sister?
Okay.
So if he doesn't recognize me, it could be like, I don't fucking know who your brother and sister are. I mean, sure.
Yeah. Pretty much that's what you get.
Mm.
Don't know who the fuck you are. How about your fucking family?
Don't
The
even
fuck's this
fucking
piece of shit
recognize your
done
own
to you?
fucking daughter, now do you? Now what happened to my brother? Points in towards corner. And what the fuck did you do to Veronica?
He'll start. You can see the jowls of his jaws start wobbling a tiny bit as he finally recognizes you. His mouth just opens and closes, the saliva just running down a bit like a fish breathing on land. And he'll just say, "What will he say?" Had to keep him. Had to keep him.
Had to keep him. Had to keep what? What did you have to keep him? Why did you have to keep him?
Again, his eyes just flick to the side. It's me son and daughter. My son and daughter. Can't be a failure. Can't be a failure.
You were fucking born a fucking failure.
They leave him a failure. Had to keep him.
Look at yourself, idiot. You've done nothing, but Donnie has been more dead to any of us than you have ever been. You're a fucking
Remember your mum
drunk
always
badass.
Mum always said families stay together. You ran away, had to keep them. There's something in the way he says keep that you don't like.
Yeah, exactly. What did you do?
Just looks at Donnie on the floor. Scared, addicted. Use that.
Fucking turn him to a fucking addict, didn't you? Just like yourself. Is that the only way you know how life works? Katie's
Family
just
stayed
kicking
together,
him
I kept them. Family stayed together, I kept them.
Yeah, Katie's definitely gonna kick him in the side now.
Don't even worry about it to hit. He's prone and he's not moving, so just do damage.
That would just be strength, right?
Up to you if you want to burn some potence into that.
No, I don't have the blood.
Bearing in mind you've already done
Ooh.
4 bashing to him.
Yeah, and I don't even. It's more like an actual prod.
Yeah, well, it's more. I'm gonna say that you stomp his belly, but there's so much fat cushioning that just nothing happens. Pretty much.
Yeah. I had to keep him. Can't you see that it was over? It was over the moment Mom died. We stopped being a family the moment Mom died, and you did this. And now I'm here. I'm gonna take him.
Still under one roof.
Nothing.
Still under one roof. Still under one roof.
Nothing you
Still
can
under
do
one
about
roof.
it.
Still under one roof.
Hmm.
Family under one roof.
Huh.
Except for you can't.
Gotta train this motherfucker.
Welcome to Vampire Diabetes. Okay. No, I'm joking. You won't catch vampire diabetes.
So, yeah, Katie's she's going in for the kill. Definitely.
Let me paint you a picture, Kaylee. Let me transmogrify myself back into the voice in your head. The voice in Kaylee's head, as it were, that is just simply the beast. And the beast begins to speak to you on a level that you've never really experienced, KK. Sure, you've had frenzies. Sure, you've known what it is to be hungry, frightened of fire, but those were animalistic in a sense that you couldn't control yourself. But this is cunning. This is instinct kicking in. This is you asserting yourself. The beast begins to ride within you and writhe out of you until you feel yourself almost becoming immersed with it, like a drop of warmth when you drink a hot liquid that goes down your esophagus and you feel it begin to spread out amongst your entire veins. And in a way, when you reach down, you feel invincible in a way that you've never felt before. There's nothing within you that you recognize as you, only the beast inside of you that knows that it wants to kill this insignificant wretch in front of you, that knows that thing behind you is your blood, that must protect it by all means and by all costs. And what is running through your head right this very second that would justify you destroying your father in this most foul of ways?
Through Katie's head goes, well, a few things actually. First of all, the need to still protect and look after her brother and sister. She still doesn't know where she is, so she'll need to find her soon. But that's one of the first things that just pops up. Is need to protect them, need to keep safe that which is hers in a way. The other thing that's really, really crossing her mind at this point is this guy. It has my blood, but it's bad. It's bad blood. It needs to be taken back to the source. I am the goddamn source. And the third thing, even though actually that would be the father, but hey, I'm the Canaanite. I'm the better one of this family. And the third thing that would actually run through her head is, I didn't get the blood of my sire. I'm damn gonna get this blood. Because I did not get the blood that I should have had. He shouldn't have died. Even now that he did die, it should have been my blood. That blood should have been with me. And now this blood has to be with me as well.
Oh God. You reach down and you lift him up easily. Again, there's that instinct kicking in within you, that all of these things converging into 1 point, 2 points actually, that begin to grow within your mouth and your fangs extend in a way that you've never really felt. There's an awakening within your feralness that you have never felt before, and you know that this is the way to lock it in it. And so you sink your fangs in and you begin to drink and drain until there's nothing left. Roll me for path conversion, which is your willpower at difficulty 6.
-1 dice pool. Oh, for fuck's sake.
And pray for a good roll.
Oh,
No
yes.
willpower to be
Oh,
used on
God.
this.
No, I know. That's a fail.
That is a fail. You begin to kill and begin to tear up your father. Not even with your teeth anymore, you just begin to eat him and tear him up. And then the beast is so strong that it rides you, you can't even stop yourself, and you begin to kill and destroy your brother. And right now, what you are, my dear, is lost to the beast.
I know.
And here, we're going to leave the scene.